and
I was going to ask you about autocross. I'd be curious to see how well it does.
I think it would be an absolute blast,
Yeah.
especially with the adjustability of the bags.
Right.
Being an independent rear suspension car.
For sure.
I think it'd be a lot of fun.
For sure.
It's a heavy pig, though, right now, as it sits.
Yeah, so, I mean, I drive the truck and I autocross it, and that's long wheelbase. It's heavy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
Still a blast.
You're having fun. At
That's
the end of
true.
the day, you're having fun. You're not going out there trying to be competitive, but I think it would do really, really well.
That's funny. You're the first guy that I've seen do that. So my dad and I, since I was a kid, went to the Good Guys shows as often as we could.
Yep.
When you find the time and convince your child to spend all day in the 100-degree heat. And
I don't know anything about that.
I'm sure. And but so we were there one day, and there's some guy out there in a freaking 4-door Chevy truck for some reason, and he is tearing the hell out of this autocross course. And I'm pretty sure you had 3 other people in the truck with you.
I'm sure I did.
And I'm just like, and this was years before we had met, or years before my dad or I had even had a car. And I was like, this guy is living. Like all these other people in their, their fancy built cars or whatever. This guy's, I'm going to take my truck around that track. And I'm like, hell yeah. So it was kind of cool. Like years later, I think it was actually during Slam, if I remember right, I think that there was some autocross type stuff that you had set up then. Or maybe it was another Good Guys show.
It must have been another Good Guys. We didn't offer it in Slam just because we had so much going on, other stuff. That is something that we are working on. I don't know if it's going to be autocross or just a skid pad.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I know everybody likes to just go out there and whip donuts and tear it up, and I think
Unless
that's probably
you're on the street, take over people.
Yeah.
The worst.
But no, I mean it's funny because I'm also a Good Guys goer. I've always been since way back in probably my teens, and my 2 boys were out there in 2013. I had just had the truck for I don't know, like maybe 5 months, and had lowered it already.
Yep.
Just a 4.6 drop, nothing fancy, no custom shocks and coilovers and anything crazy, and it had 22-inch wheels and. All I wanted was like a little family cruiser, and then the kids are like, "Dad, you should take it out to autocross." I'm like, "What?
What are y'all saying?"
Like, and they're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "No," and they're like, "Yeah, you should take it out there, see what you can do." I'm like, "All right, cool." And the commentator, I remember vividly, he's like having a field day. He's like, "Oh my gosh, is it supposed to be making that noise? There's plastic coming out of the wheel well." And I'm like, I'm just shoving these 22s. The body roll is crazy, but I get off at the track, and I was like.
Everybody loved it.
Dude, I'm ecstatic.
That's
I'm like, I
awesome.
broke some shit. I'm cool. I had a good time, And so that started the autocross adventure. And honestly, the truck is what I had.
Yeah.
The truck is what I had. And I was like,
I want to go racing.
I can put my whole family in it. It's still a truck. It's versatile. And then I was hooked, man. I was hooked.
cool.
Always been into cars, but never did the autocross until then.